Hi, Steve. Obviously, a different opponent this time with a different strength. The bowling is quite strong in the spin department. Does Bangladesh hold any fear to the Afghan bowling attack, given how the Dehradun tournament went last year?
I think the word's respect. I think in Rashid Khan, he's a wonderful bowler. I know he went for plenty of runs against Morgan in England, but that was just one of those days for him. Generally, he's very, very aggressive and tight at the same time, so a quality bowler. And then the other two spinners in Nabi and Mujib are quality, so we really do respect them. But we don't fear. A lot of the lads have grown up playing on spinning wickets, and so they've faced a lot of spin bowlers. But we'll respect them because, you know, they're top international bowlers.
Coach, we saw Mustafizur and a couple of other bowlers bowling to a boot you had placed in front of the stumps, and there was some incentive as well. So could you please tell us the idea behind that and whether they were practicing Yorker or something?
Oh, no, that was just a little bit of fun between myself and the bowlers. You know, training can get a little bit mundane at times, so I wanted to make sure that they were on the money and they were trying their hardest to hit the boot. But it was just a little bit of a challenge between myself and Saifuddin. And also it puts a little bit of pressure on him, so it's always good to practice under pressure. But just a little bit of fun, and there was nothing exchanged from anybody's pockets.
Coach, it's basically having to win every match you play now. So you were in a similar position in the Asia Cup with having to win matches against Afghanistan and Pakistan to get to the World Cup final. Can you draw on that for inspiration? For
definitely. I can draw on the experience in the Asia Cup. It was a wonderful close, and we almost got there and nearly won the final off the last ball. But yeah, I think the Bangladesh team, and we all know that what's in front of us. If you really break it down and think, well, if we do win these matches coming up, we only need 5 games and we've won the World Cup. That's one way of looking at it, if you think of them all as knockout games. But of course, that is not easy, and the first challenge and the first step is Afghanistan. That's why we won't look further than the next game, which is Afghanistan. They're a tough team. They're a tough bunch of cricketers. They really fought hard against India, so we're very respectful for them. They pushed us hard in the Asia Cup, and thankfully we came out on top in that game. But we know that it's going to be a difficult game, you know, tomorrow. So. But we're not fearful. We are confident. We've been playing some good cricket. But yes, if we do win game after game after game, who knows?
Yep. Coach, right at the back. Straight.
Am I looking? Yes, hi.
I have 2 questions. Actually, in the very last match here in Afghanistan and India, what is the message you have got after watching the game, and how much the India and Afghanistan game will influence the Bangladesh best 11 against the Afghanistan first? And second thing, considering every aspect, Bangladesh is a lot bigger team than the Afghanistan team. So is it actually help Bangladesh to feel that we are the bigger team and we have to perform the bigger performance in this match?
First of all, I saw the game, watched it on TV, saw little bits of it live when we were training, but the wicket was, there's 2 things really. The wicket was a little bit slower than the wickets we've been playing on, and it turned a little bit. We're playing on the same wicket, so that's useful to know. And secondly, you've all seen where the wicket is on the ground. It's right in the middle, and it's huge boundaries. So we're going back to the old ages of 1980s and 90s when you had some big grounds to fill. And so the 6 hitting and the 4 hitting might be less, like the other day against India. We'll certainly have to run hard and earn our singles and 2s and turn them into 3s. So that's an important aspect. And then with the ball, I think it may well suit some of our bowlers, and we're looking forward to that challenge. But as far as Bangladesh and Afghanistan, yeah, in rankings and things like that, we're better. But I can't honestly tell you enough that we're very respectful from this team. We don't fear them. We certainly don't fear them. We're ready to take them on. But you know what? I'm really proud also of Afghanistan's rising cricketing ranks. Bangladesh have done a fine job in 20 years internationally, and Afghanistan are now doing a good job. And I think that these 2 countries are actually where cricket is thriving. cricket is thriving in Bangladesh, and I think for Afghanistan to do what they've done is an amazing effort as well, with the troubles and problems they've had back home. So, you know, it's nice to see two of these emerging countries. Yes, Bangladesh are a little bit older in that terms internationally, but it's wonderful to see, you know, the crowds and the support and the way cricket is thought of in these two countries.
Coach, definitely last 3 matches would be do or die match for Bangladesh. Are you feel pressure or what message to the boys?
Well, look, you know, that you've probably hit the nail on the head, which means that you've made a very good point. You know, if you think too hard about this being do or die or the end of the tournament or anything like that, then the pressure, you can put too much pressure on yourself. So I'll be trying to take a little bit of that pressure off the team. They know the importance of the game, but my job is to make sure we concentrate on the game and we do some smart things and we play well. Because if we play well, we'll have a good chance of winning the game. We try too hard, we put too much pressure on ourselves, then I'm afraid we might just, you know, not get the result we want. So my job will be to try and take a bit of pressure off the team.
Hi, just 2 quick questions. Afghanistan played a full-length ODI yesterday on the very same wicket that they'll be facing Bangladesh tomorrow. Do you think that'll be of an advantage to the team? And Mehdi was hit earlier on his head during his interview. Is there any updates on his health for tomorrow's game?
On who, sorry?
Mehdi was hit earlier.
Oh, right, okay. So first of all, the scheduling, I think that Afghanistan and then a day off today, no travel, and then play the day after, that's not a problem. In fact, it would be a little bit of an advantage playing on this ground in these conditions. They know it well now, and on the same wicket as well. We had a game where which suited us a little bit at the Oval as well when we played that first game against South Africa. But going back to the question then of Mehdi, yeah, he just got a hit on the side of the head. I think he was doing an interview at the time, and the ball came flying out of the net. He seems okay, he seems fine. As I left to come up here, the physio was checking him over. I'll get a report as soon as I get back down there, but there was no blood, anything like that. I would imagine the physio now would check him over for something like concussion, because that's normally the done thing, but that's all I can tell you at the moment.
Coach, what is the physical and mental state of Saifuddin? We need to know his physical state because he skipped the last game for injury. And we also need to know his mental state because there is a report he exaggerated the injury.
Yeah. First of all, the physical state, he's fine. He needed rest. His back was giving him some real problems. That's the real reason why he missed that last game against Australia. It was a physical thing. He couldn't bowl. You were not going to pick a player who can't bowl. His mental state, I think this is a really, really important issue because the reports that came out were untrue. There was something about a meeting that I had regarding a replacement with Mashraf and Nanu, the head selector. That didn't take place. So I really would like you guys to, before questioning the integrity, and I appreciate it's probably people not in the room here, but before questioning the integrity of players, make sure your information's 100%. I think that's the key message here. Because most of the Bangladeshi reporters here, I'm sure, as well as the staff, we're desperate for us to do well. And anything that can be, if it's a lie, and it actually puts a player in a very difficult position, then that's not good for that player, and that's not good for Bangladesh. And I'm desperate to win this World Cup, and that's the challenge, that's the mountain to climb. And if there's anything gets in the way, then please be really sure of what people are telling you before you write it.
Coach, Afghanistan team is staying here for 7 days, or they are very used to with this condition. They played well yesterday, and how it is advantage because they used to this condition. How it will be advantage for them?
Yeah, I think, as I mentioned before, it will be a slight advantage, but you know, I think that you know, we've got the capability, we've got the quality to you know, get over that hurdle that they might have a slight advantage, but it's all on the day. Cricket is an amazing game. You win, you lose, you play well, you don't play so well, and that's the same for Afghanistan as well against us.
Next question.
Steve, going back to the yesterday's match between India and Afghanistan, the wicket looked, as you said, that is a bit slower side, and probably that suits your batsman more.
I'm not sure really. I think you might say that wicket, we've seen some of those wickets in Bangladesh, slow, stoppy, a little bit wicket, a little bit of turn. So you might say yes, it would suit us. It's not a green flying wicket, so that might be a good thing. That might not suit us, but so possibly, yeah, you might say that might be a small advantage we'd have.
Okay. Raj.
Steve at the back. This is a ground which has a Shane Warne stand. Obviously, leg spinners have done well. You don't have a leg spinner. Afghanistan has got one. So how much of an advantage is that, I think?
Well, it would be nice to have brought left arm spinner, off spinner, and a leg spinner to the World Cup. But if that's not possible, then let's go with our best spinners. And at the moment, there's a lack of leg spinners in Bangladesh. It's something we're working on. It's something we're desperate to get right. I'm sure we will do. As I've said many times to any budding leg spinner, there's not many of them around, so you can shine very, very quickly if you're any good. But Shane Warne obviously made his name away from Hampshire. He played here, and he did a great job for the county. But Shane Warne is renowned really for his deeds in Australia, and certainly the ball turned a little bit more in Sydney and places like that than it does here at the Rose Bowl. But so yeah, if we had a good leg spinner, he'd be here, and we're working on that.
Okay. Any last questions? Sam?
আপনার কাছে জানতে চাও আর কি, একটু আপনি যদি বলতেন মিরাজের অবস্থাটা একটু আপনি
আমার মনে হয় কোচ একটু আগে এক্সপ্লেন করেছেন। এখন ফিজিও চেক করছে, ও এখনো চাচ্ছিল ব্যাটিং করতে, তো ফিজিও চেক করার পর যদি সব কিছু ঠিকঠাক থাকে তাহলে ব্যাটিং করবে।
গুরুতর কিছু না তো,
সেটা তো মানে আমাদের পক্ষে বলা সম্ভব না। ফিজিও চেক করছে, দেখে আপাতত দৃষ্টিতে মনে হচ্ছে যে এটা তেমন ভয়ের কিছু নেই, দেখা যাক।
Give me another 6 months and I'll speak like that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.